Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this instruction. And the people of Navadvip felt supremely blessed. They were all initiated by Lord Chaitanya in that sense. And soon, all the villages in all the 9 islands of Navadvip, nothing could be heard except the chanting of Mahamantra. People were chanting when they walked down the streets. Even instruments they had for worshiping Goddess Durga, they used that to do kirtan. There were karatols, there were mridangas, there were conch shells blowing all in all directions. People were blissful. Lord Chaitanya, Gauranga has given us the mantras. The town was in bliss. But one day, the Chand Kazi was walking through the streets. Do you all know what a Kazi is? Srila Prabhupada explains that under the Mughal rule, there was the Jamindars. They were landholders. They controlled, under the government, the citizens by levying taxes on people and giving them to the king and taking some percentage themselves. So they were in charge of property matters. And the Kazi, he was in charge of maintaining law and order under the Mughal king. Now, the particular Kazi that was in charge of this area of Navadvip was a very powerful scholar. He was the guru of the king of Bengal, the Nawab Hussain Shah, the spiritual master. And he hated Hindus. He was walking down the street. First he started hearing kartals. What is this? Then he heard mridangas. What is this? He heard conch shells. What's going on? He listened carefully. He came closer. And he heard in all directions, in all the shops, in all the homes, everywhere was the loud chanting of the Mahamantra. He burned with fury. Now, meanwhile, Lord Chaitanya was encouraging everyone so nicely. He would walk through the streets. And when Lord Chaitanya, anybody that he heard chanting Hare Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, he would bow down at their feet. He would embrace them. He would decorate their bodies with garlands. He would put straw in his teeth as an act of humility and gratitude, and with folded hands and tears in his eyes, thank them. Because you are taking the name of Krishna. You are my life and soul. That is how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reciprocated with those who chanted his holy names. But Chand Kazi, he could not tolerate. He heard this chanting. He screamed like a lion. Stop at once. The public demonstration of any Hindu ritual is outlawed by our law. What's happening here? For so many years, generations, there has never been a violation of our laws. The Hindus with their vain rituals, they quietly do it somewhere secretly. Who has caused this? Who has influenced you with this audacity to be chanting these Hindu names loudly? he called out to his soldiers who were dacoits, "Touch them! Beat them!" Anyone who is caught chanting these Hindu names in public will be beaten. All of their property will be confiscated, and they will be imprisoned. That is the law. He saw some people playing a mridanga. John Kazi, outraged, he grabbed the mridanga, lifted it above his head, and smashed it to the ground, and declared, "It is the law. You will be beaten and punished." He had 1,000 criminal-minded soldiers combing through the streets of Navadvip and all the villages, searching for anyone chanting the Hindu names of God, to thrash them, whip them, and torture them, and plunder them. This was scary. Now please, as you're listening to the story, put yourself in the position of those devotees. Srila Prabhupada writes that even in our Hare Krishna movement, we see that this is happening to different levels. In Australia, in London, in America, in Europe, he said our devotees are being arrested, sometimes even beaten, by the government. Why? Because they're chanting the Hare Krishna mantra in public. But Srila Prabhupada wasn't disheartened. He was ecstatic. He said, this is the evidence that our movement is authorized by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If we did not have this divine power, nobody would take it so seriously to punish us for it. And later on, in places like the former Soviet Union, devotees were beaten. Devotees were tortured. Devotees were killed. For what? Chanting Hare Krishna and trying to distribute transcendental literature. It is historical. The devotees, they were very much disturbed. All the townspeople, they couldn't not follow Lord Chaitanya's instruction to chant loudly everywhere, but they couldn't do it either. So they approached Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And they said, we're being beaten. We're being plundered. There's 1,000 soldiers in the streets hunting for us. Lord Chaitanya said, Krishna will protect you, just carry on. But when he saw that they were really, really aggrieved, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became as angry as death personified. When he heard they were beating the devotees, they were breaking the mridangas, he took the mood of Lord Shiva at the time of universal devastation. The Lord lifted his arms and he cried out, Nityananda, hear what I say with rapt attention. Go to the homes of all the Vaishnavas with this message. Today, I will do kirtan throughout all of Navadvip. I will see what they do to me. Today, I will set the house of Kazi on fire. What will the king do to me? I will see. I will see. Today, I will bring down a torrential rainstorm of pure devotional service and ecstatic love for Krishna. Today, time personified will stand before the blasphemers. O people of Nadia, everywhere, bring my order. Anyone who wants to see the secret of Krishna, come to my home this evening with a torch. This evening, I will lead the procession of Harinam Sankirtan to the door of Chand Kazi, and I will chant and dance at his doorstep. And if he tries to stop us, I will smash his house to pieces. In all the universes, everyone is the servant of the servants of my servants. You have nothing to fear when I am present. Give up all fear within your hearts. Go home, eat your lunch, come back this afternoon with your torch, and I will lead the Nam Sankirtan throughout Navadvip. Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki. His words alleviated all their fear. This is the power of the Lord. Innocent people. Thousands of armed soldiers ready to attack them and plunder them. But they were blissful. When the Lord invokes fearlessness within a person's heart, no obstacle can restrain them. Bajahure mana Srinanda Nandana abhayat sharanara vindare Durlabha manava janama satsange taraho ebavo sindare. Srila Prabhupada taught us this song. My Lord, just take shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Nandanandana Krishna. Worship him. For in doing so, you become fearless. Fear is the predominating suffering of this world. But when we worship Krishna sincerely, he invokes fearlessness within our heart. And then we can overcome all obstacles within this world. The people of Navadvip were ecstatic. It didn't matter what happened. It spread in all directions. Today, Nimai Pandit is going to come out from the house of Srivas Thakur, and he's going to dance publicly in the streets. What we have been praying for, what we have been longing for, what we have been doing our pujas for, it's going to be fulfilled. We're going to see the beautiful dance of Gauranga. And we're going to hear him chant. The one instruction they didn't follow was to take their lunch. They totally forgot that instruction of the Lord, to take the lunch. They all started making torches. Everywhere there was torch making going on. Fathers were making big torches. Little children were making big torches. Wives were making torches. Mothers and fathers and aunts and uncles and everybody was making torches. There was millions and millions of torches being made. Some people were so enthusiastic. Individuals were making thousands of torches. And there was barrels and barrels, thousands and thousands and thousands of barrels of oils. And Hare Krishna. They were see the potency of this dog. I've been trying to make you laugh all night, and He just, and everybody's laughing, so nice. He has humbled me very nicely, thank you. So many torches being made. By the millions and the millions. Big, big torches, pieces of wood, and they'd wrap cloth around it, and then they'd dip it in oil and dip it in oil. In the afternoon, millions of people gathered in front of Lord Chaitanya's house, each one carrying torches. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu smiled. Everyone, their eyes gazing upon his beautiful golden form, waiting to see his dance. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed how the kirtan would be performed. Would you like to hear? I was hoping you would like to. He said, Advaitacharya, you be in front and you lead kirtan, lead dancing. And the second kirtan party will be Haridas Thakur, and the third kirtan party will be Srivas Thakur, and I will be in the rear kirtan party. And he looked at Nityananda Prabhu and said, where will you be? And Nityananda Prabhu cried, and he said, Lord, I cannot be separated from you. So Lord Chaitanya said, yes, Nityananda Prabhu will be on my right side, and Gadadhar Pandit will be on my left side. And we will perform Nam Sankirtan through every street of every village, of every bathing ghat, every marketplace, throughout Navadvip to the house of Chand Kazi. They began the kirtan in the courtyard. As the kirtan grew louder and louder and louder, the sun set. The moon rose. As soon as it became dark, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu roared like a lion as an indication to light the torches. Instantly, millions of torches were lit. It lit up the entire sky. It was like a sunny summer afternoon. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced. The kirtan went through the streets of Navadvip. Everyone's eyes were fixed only on the beautiful form of the Lord. He was very tall, 4 cubits in height. And he danced in such a way everyone of millions of people could see him. That is his own power. And what did they see? His form, with a complexion like molten gold, resplendent. His eyebrows were like the bows of Cupid, which extended all the way practically to his ears. His lotus-like eyes, like fully bloomed lotus petals, extended almost to his ears. And as he was chanting, in ecstatic love, there were torrential rivers like the Ganges pouring from his lotus-like eyes. It was the most beautiful sight anyone has ever seen. Constant streams of tears were flowing over his nose. This was like a beautiful sesame flower. His lips were bright red. His pearly white teeth shining like suns. His face had the countenance of the full moon. And his silken black hair cascading and curling around his face and onto his shoulders totally captivated everyone's heart of hearts. His neck was like a lion's. His shoulders like those of an elephant. His chest wide, his waist was thin. In his beautiful blackish hair, there were garlands, or let us say there were threads of sweet, fragrant malati flowers. He had lovely dhoti that was folded beautifully in 3 places. There was a garland of forest flowers that extended below his knees, and it was swaying back and forth as he danced. Whoever saw the beautiful form of Lord Chaitanya dancing, his arms which extended below his knees raised high above him. The Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat says, and Lochan Das Thakur says same thing, that when the devotees dance in kirtan, their feet sanctify the entire earth when they dance. And their glances, while they're doing kirtan, their glances sanctify all the 4 directions. And when they raise their arms and chant the holy names, the energy of the holy name, like antennas from their arms, sanctify all the higher planets. Everyone was loudly chanting beautiful of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he was in so much love. His hairs were standing on end. His teeth were chattering. His limbs were trembling. Sometimes he would turn different colors. At other times, it would be light, like a swab of cotton. And then suddenly, he'd put his foot down and the entire earth would tilt. He became heavier than the earth itself. He would leap up into the air. And Nityananda Prabhu and Nityananda Prabhu and Gadadhar Prabhu were there to try to catch him. Sometimes he would fall unconscious. The desires of all the people of Navadvip were fulfilled beyond any of their expectations. Everyone attained ecstatic love of God that day just by seeing the dance of Lord Gauranga. He was in so much ecstasy. At times he manifested the form of Krishna and everyone could see him. His body became blue like a monsoon cloud. Hands, a flute appeared and he played that flute. The devotees, everybody, they were going mad. Everyone wanted to welcome the Lord. Every single house. They decorated the front of their homes with auspicious items to welcome a great soul. Every house. There were bananas, banana trees. And there was burning ghee lamps. And there was yogurt and rice strewn. It was so beautiful. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was leading the kirtan, more and more people were coming out just by hearing the beautiful sound filling the 4 directions and all the devotees dancing and singing. Everyone just left. Fathers forgot that they had wives and children. Wives had husbands and children. Children forgot that they had brothers, sisters, and mothers and fathers and grandfathers and grandmothers and aunts and uncles and everybody else. Everybody just ran out. Their only fixed thought was to join the kirtan of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. The thieves, they thought, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Everyone left their houses. Nobody closed their doors. We can plunder and steal from every house in Navadvip with no impediment. They were really enthusiastic. They ran to the houses to rob them. But on the way, they saw Lord Chaitanya dancing. The holy names entered into their ears and conquered their hearts. And suddenly, they forgot they were thieves. All they could do is join the devotees, raise their arms, and loudly cry out the holy name. As they were dancing through the streets, the demigods, they had never seen such a festival of ecstatic love. Nothing like this had ever been manifest within creation. The demigods, they, first of all, from the heavenly planets, they showered billions and billions and billions of flower petals. Can you imagine this kirtan? From the sky, tons, like, it was like Pushyabhishek all over Navadvip. Just flower petals pouring down. All the streets were paved with flower petals so that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feet would not feel any inconvenience. And Lord Chaitanya in his ecstasy would sometimes chant so loudly, like the roaring of 10 million lions. It would have broken everyone's eardrums to pieces. But by his Yogamaya potency, he protected everyone's eardrums. Everyone gazed at the Lord's. Another miracle that took place. People were so engrossed in this Nam Sankirtan that everybody assumed four-arm forms of the residents of Vaikuntha. But everyone forgot that they were the bodies and forgot that everyone else was their bodies, so nobody even noticed. In loving the Lord, everyone fell in love with each other. Devotees were embracing. Devotees were falling at each other's feet. Some of the townspeople were taking their hair and tying it to other devotees' feet. They were mad. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the kirtan through the marketplaces, and he came to the banks of the Ganga, to the Mahaprabhu Ghat, Lord Chaitanya's bathing ghat. He went to Madhai Ghat, to Barakona Ghat, to Nagariya Ghat, then to Ganga Nagar, and finally, after all night of covering all directions, they came to the village of the Chand Kazi. Now the devotees and the townspeople were really, really in an ecstatic mood. As they approached his house, many were screaming out, "Kill the Kazi. His house down. Destroy the blasphemers. Where are they?" Meanwhile, the envious people, they couldn't tolerate what they were seeing. What are these people? They're crazy. This Nimai Pandit has become so mad. Now he's leading everybody, violating all the Vedic principles, chanting the names of the Lord publicly. But just see, these people are all cowards. We'll tell the Kazi. The Kazi will send their soldiers, and these people, as soon as they see the soldiers of the Kazi, they will go running away and jumping in the Ganges like scared cowards. And we will tie them up and make sure that they're punished appropriately. Hare Krishna. They came closer to the house. Kazi could hear this unbelievable roar coming closer and closer. To his assistants, he said, "What is that? What is that? Some sort of Hindu marriage? Go out and see." They went out to see. They came running back. They said, "Kazi ji, you're not going to believe what's out there. There are millions of people all being led by this Nimai Pandit. And they're all screaming, 'Kill the Kazi, burn his house, destroy the blasphemers.' Hoping and praying to Allah that he would not be discovered. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates came to the house. And the townspeople, first of all, they tore down all the boundary walls of Chand Kazi's house. Then they got into his garden and they uprooted every plant, every tree. There wasn't a single leaf or petal left in his garden. Then they approached his house and started knocking down the walls. And Chand Kazi was hiding somewhere, trembling like a leaf. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cried out, "Destroy his house, burn it down!" And the devotees fell at his feet and said, "My Lord, this is the things that Lord Shiva and your partial expansions are supposed to do. You're the Lord of love." And the Lord said, yes, correct. The devotees reminded him. He was so angry that this Chand Kazi broke mridangas and was beating devotees. Then the Lord became calm. And he went to the door of Chand Kazi. A messenger came. Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu said, "I want to meet the Kazi." The Kazi came down. The Lord asked him, "I am a guest at your house. What type of hospitality is this? I come to your door, you don't even welcome me?" The Kazi said, "Well, you came in a very angry mood. And I could not face you in this angry mood. But now you seem very peaceful. But can I say something? That in our village, your maternal grandfather, Nilambar Chakravarti, I was from the same village as him. I grew up as a child. I called him Kaka, uncle." Srila Prabhupada explains in this regard that this is the way it was. Even 50, 60 years ago, from the time when Prabhupada wrote his purport. The Hindus and Muslims, they lived together very, very peacefully. They were very friendly. They were like family members. There was really no problem. It was only political people who polluted the relationships. Otherwise, there's one God, just different ways of worshiping him. There was no problems. But politicians try to divide and conquer, create fanaticism. That is the problem. Kazi said that in our village, everyone was aunts and uncles. So since your grandfather was my uncle. That means I'm your uncle, and you're my nephew. And even if the nephew becomes angry with the uncle doesn't take it very seriously. And even if the uncle does something very, very bad, the nephew forgives him. Because of their intimate connection. So please forgive me. I was told that they call you Gaur Hari. May I please call you Gaur Hari? Lord Gauranga said, "Can I ask you a question?" I said, "Please, any question. Ask any question." He said, "You're drinking the milk of cow. And the bull is tilling your fields to give you grains. Therefore the cow is your mother and the bull is your father. Why do you eat the meat and drink the blood of your mother and father?" What kind of religious principle is this? Now, Chand Kazi was a great scholar. He said, "What you're saying is true. But, you see, according to the Holy Quran, there are two paths of religion, Pravriti Marg and Nivriti Marg. One to pursue higher material enjoyment and one to pursue transcendental realization. On the path to material enjoyment, under certain regulative restrictions, it is allowed that such animals could be killed. But those who follow my faith for transcendental realization, it is forbidden. But even in your Vedas and Puranas, I have read, there are Gometa sacrifices, Ashwamedha sacrifices where cow is killed. So why are you criticizing? Lord Chaitanya said, according to the Vedas, the sacrifice of a cow is only permitted if the Brahmins performing that sacrifice are so qualified that they could instantly, before everybody's eyes, bring that cow back to life. They take an old, useless animal, do the yajna, and to show the power of the mantras, they bring the cow back to have a youthful, healthy body. But if the Brahmin priest cannot bring the cow back to life, then it is the most miserable sin of killing a cow. And one has to suffer in hell for every hair on the body of the cow. Chand Kazi said, what you're saying is true. Actually, our scripture was written recently according to time, place, and circumstance, and oftentimes it is not based on very high principles of logic and philosophy. But because I am a follower, I must adhere myself to these regulative principles. But what you are saying in regard to killing cows is true. Then Lord Chaitanya said, I have another question for you. For so many days, you were beating our devotees, plundering our devotees, harassing our devotees for Nam Sankirtan. Why tonight you didn't do anything? Why nobody came to beat us or arrest us? Chand Kazi said, I would like to tell you something very confidential, my lord. Gaur Hari. Can we speak in private? Lord Chaitanya said, no. All of my associates are confidential. Whatever you want to speak to me, they may hear also. He said, let me tell you this. He said, the day I broke that mridanga, that night, something extraordinary happened. I was laying in my bed. I fell asleep. Suddenly, this terrible, angry beast leaped upon my chest. He had the face of a lion, the claws of a lion, and the body of a human being. Half man, half lion. His large teeth were flashing and gnashing. His eyes were red like coals in wrath. He roared, just as you broke that mridanga, I will tear you to pieces. Then with his sharp nails, he dug them into my chest and ripped. His eyes, glowing with anger, screamed out, Kazi! Because you have hurt my devotees, I will destroy you. I will tear you into small pieces. You are finished on this very night because you have offended my devotees and you have tried to stop the congregational chanting of the holy names of Krishna. Kazi said, I lay under him helplessly, trembling in fear. And then that beast, he said, Kazi, because you have not done such bad offense, I will let you live. But if ever again you impede the Sankirtan of the holy name, I will return to destroy you, destroy your family, and destroy the entire race of meat eaters.